Hello students, welcome to my class. Myself Archana Upadhyay and I am going to describe you the poem Amanda. This poem is about a school going girl and her parents wants her to be good girl. So in this poem the poet shows us how difficult it can be for a young girl to grow up, as you feel, because you are also a school going girl and young girl, growing girl, and it is so difficult for you because there are so many restrictions for you. And the same thing happens with the girl in the poem. In childhood, we are happy to listen to fairy tales. ओके, फेरी मीन्स जो परियां होती हैं उनकी कहानियाँ, टेल्स मीन्स स्टोरीज, एंड इमेजिन आवर सेल्व्स टू बी इन द सेम सिचुएशन. ओके, व्हेन वी लिसन दीज स्टोरीज वी ऑल्सो थिंक अस एज द कैरेक्टर ऑफ दीज स्टोरीज एंड वी फील दैट सिचुएशन फॉर अस ऑल्सो. बट दिस कैन नॉट लास्ट फॉर एवर. Okay, this imaginary things, imaginary fairy tales cannot last forever. At some point in time or the other, we all have to grow up. One part of growing up is leaving fairy tales behind and learning to accept reality as it is. Hence, we must get used to having our own set of responsibilities, such as doing our homework, keeping our room clean, etc. This is the part of every child's growth. However, this process is more difficult for girls than it is for boys. Okay, for girls, the society thinks something else, and for boys it is different. So this procedure, growing up procedure, for girls is more difficult than it is for boys. This is because girls are always expected to behave in a certain way, to be a epitome of elegance in their every movement. Means people think that if she is a girl, she should be epitome of elegance. That is why Amanda's mother does not allow her to slouch and wants her to sit up straight. Young girls are also expected to take care of their appearance also. That's why Amanda's mother in this poem does not want her to develop acne on her face, so she tells her not to have any chocolates. And in our society, girls are expected always to smile, to be sweet, never to express any bitterness or anger. That is why Amanda's mother tells her not to sulk or not to be moody. However, such expectations seem a burden to young girls. Suppose everyone, whether our parents or someone else, every time they are talking in this way, do this, don't do this, it will be certainly irritating and it will be just like a burden for the young girls. And that is exactly how Amanda feels. She does not want to be denied chocolate and she wants to sit and behave exactly as she wants to. She would rather indulge in fantasies than cleaning her room of her shoes. In other words, Amanda wants to postpone growing up and would like to remain a child for just a little bit longer. Okay, now I'm going to start first stanza. And in this, Amanda's mother or father, because it is not clearly said whether mother is talking or father is talking, so any of the parents may be. So she is being instructed by her mother or father, not biting her nails, not to sit lazily with her shoulders bent. The parents are irritated and frustrated with her behavior and want her to learn to behave in a manner which conforms to the social rules of the society. Means this kind of behavior, then biting nails, hunched shoulders, and slouching, these type of behavior is not appropriate for the society. That's why in this stanza her parents are forbidding her not doing these things, and it shows she is having much pressure also. Okay, because her parents are continuously nagging with her, and that's why she is feeling some pressure. And there are some lines what she thinks. Okay, in first stanza what her parents are thinking it is said, but in this bracket stanza she is thinking for herself that little girl is imagining and has a free flow of pure thoughts. Means she is thinking freely. She uses it as an escape from the nagging commands of her parents. She imagines herself to be mermaid, sailing without any confines alongside soft waves of the sea. Okay, she wants herself to be a mermaid. Mermaid is Jalpari, who is swimming in emerald means green sea without any interruption. She is alone, she is drifting blissfully, she is having slow moments freely without any restrictions. Now there starts another stanza. Her parents are instructing. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean up your shoes, Amanda. Okay, as you can understand, again she is being instructed by her parents, mother or father, for completing her homework, to tidy up her room, and to clean up her shoes. But again she is thinking herself to be free, and she is in imaginary world again. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Okay, in this stanza, bracket stanza, Amanda again escapes into an imaginary world to escape the commands of her mother. Amanda imagines herself to be an orphan, child without parents, explaining how much frustrated she is with the continuous questioning by her parent. She is making her shoes even dustier by making patterns on them. Okay, she wants to make her feet full of dust. With these feet she is making patterns on the floor. She is thinking she loves the silence while she does it in contrast to the scolding of her parents. Okay, she wants the silence because all the time her parents are scolding. That's why she wants the silence. Now again there is another stanza. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? Again, her mother or father are instructing her not to eat chocolate because, as you know, in this age, students have, teenager girls have acne also, pimples. So that's why her parents are scolding her not to eat chocolate. They are saying that she should care about her acne, and because they think that she is ignoring them, that's why they are saying, will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? But she thinks herself as Rapunzel. Rapunzel was, okay, there is another stanza in bracket you can see in your book. I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. And Amanda is again in imaginary world. She pictures herself as the German beauty Rapunzel. Okay, there was a princess named Rapunzel. She was from Germany, who was having long hair and is trapped in a tower. She feels that the life of Rapunzel must have been very peaceful and fantastic in tower. Okay, because she was in tower, and that's why Amanda was thinking that she was alone there. That's why her life must be peaceful and fantastic. There is no restriction or any kind on her, and so that's why she also wants to go to that tower. Okay, but she doesn't want any trouble. Okay, she feels that the life of Rapunzel must have been very peaceful and fantastic in tower, but she doesn't want any trouble, so she would not let her hair down. The rude and demanding behavior of the parents has made Amanda live in her own world. Okay, she doesn't want to be interrupted by her parents. That's why she thinks these kind of things. She is in imaginary world. And the last stanza is, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. The mother or father of Amanda are greatly concerned about the bad mood of Amanda. They want Amanda to behave in a proper manner so that they can project themselves as responsible parents. They want Amanda to conform to the rules of society, but they have already failed, and hence they are worried more and scold Amanda more. Okay, the poetic devices, metaphor is used, and alliteration is used. Now, this is the end of the poem. Thank you.